What's going down, D-Gens? Here we are, week 10, getting it started. Actually, the last, 2-3 weeks have been pretty damn good, guys. I don't know if y'all have paid attention. I don't know who's still, trolling along here with me. But last week, we end up going 5-1, which is pretty good. Now, the one loss that is just a stinker of a loss. I had the Bears money line, and, they were not even close. So just make a mental note. Any team that wants to and is willing to and can actually run and has a decent ground game is probably going to beat the shit out of the Bears, because they could not stop the run of the Cardinals literally at all. They just could not do it. The Cardinals are doing whatever the hell they wanted to all up and down the ground. So that was a loss. The other ones, though, so we had a lot of props. That went well for us. But the props are Alvin Kamara over 66.5 yards. That sailed over. Cade Otton was just, so clutch. It was awesome. I hope he parlayed those. But Cade Otton over 4.5 receptions, over 47.5 receiving yards. Both of those cash relatively easily. Forget what the actual number is. I know he had at least 6 catches going into the fourth quarter, so that was really good. Cortland Sutton over 48.5 receiving yards, again, also cashes, so those are all awesome. And then the one that I felt strongly about, probably my biggest bet of the week, or was my biggest bet of the week, Washington over 23.5 total points, team total points, that is. That goes over as well. They went over, within the third quarter, I believe, but I guess it was because it was a blowout. They didn't feel the need to keep adding on points, but they didn't score as much as they thought they were going to, but enough to get us the win. So that works out. So again, 5-1 last week. The week before that, we go 3-2. The week before that, we go 4-0. Altogether, if my mathematical equations and science STEM program, calculates that correctly, we are 12-3 over the last 3 weeks. That's a pretty fucking good run. About fucking time. Good Lord. I was about to just, claim bankruptcy already. Son of a bitch. But anyways, enough sucking myself off here. Let's get into week 10. Going to start right from the top here with props, because that's really been the moneymaker lately. Usually, if you don't know this already, guys, I try to keep a lot of numbers in this, do a lot of analytical stuff. If you hate math, I'm sorry, we're going to keep mathing. But part of this, especially if you are someone who wants to be more than just a recreational bettor, or someone who maybe you're fine with being just recreational, but you want to put some bigger money on it and feel like you actually know what the hell you're doing, like you're not just throwing money down the drain, you got to start tracking and stuff. You have to kind of pick your spots. And then most importantly, you have to know what's coming in and out. So, it's easy to just I dropped $500 on a bet, and okay, well, how many bets did you make throughout the year? Did you win? Did you lose? Are you ahead, behind? Where are you doing good at? Because you want to keep betting into your strengths and kind of avoiding your weaknesses. So, for instance, my weakness over the last, 3 years has been teasers. I hate doing them now. I really try to avoid them unless it's just, absolutely something I feel strong about. Just because there's so many things that can go wrong. And even if it goes right, I would say, 7 out of 10 times where it goes right and actually hit the teaser, it ends up being that neither one of the sides needed to be teased. I could have won the straight up bet and actually doubled the money. So yeah, you don't see me doing a whole lot of teasers. Teasers, it's up to you. If you want to do them. I know a couple of podcasts and channels that love teasers. That's all they want to do, and they want to do the long teasers, and I get it. It's profitable in the long run. One thing I will say is that if you are in that group and you want to do teasers, this is really the time to do it, guys. From week 6 through week 13, this is the time. This is when the stuff is as sharp as it's going to be, and the sharper the line is, the more valuable the teaser is, the more valuable those 6 points are. The very beginning of the year and the very end of the year, stuff isn't as sharp. So 6 points may not mean a whole lot if the line itself was off by, 6 points to begin with. So keep that in mind, and also try to not tease totals, but, whatever, it's a whole nother story. So back to the picks. So first of all, props here. Tyrone Tracy, we're going to just smash this spot. Over 73.5 rush yards and over 16.5 rushing attempts. I took this earlier in the week, so I'm sure by the time you see this, it's probably going to be a higher number. Last time I checked, it was up to 75.5. Depending on where you're at, they may give you some leeway to play with the numbers. I know a couple of sites will allow you to build your own props, so you can kind of move the number down a little bit and pay a little bit extra juice. I don't think you need to do that. I think 75.5 is fine. Realistically, I think even all the way up to like 78.5, even like 79.5 is probably okay. But obviously, the better the number, the better your odds. Secondly, though, over 16.5 rush attempts. So real quick, breakdown on this one. Number one, the Panthers still. They are going to be playing with Bryce Young. Adam Thielen is out. Deontay Johnson is out of Dodge. He's not even on the team anymore. Chuba Hubbard just signed his big deal. I could see them, like they usually do, the Panthers, this is, trying to run the ball, establish a run, move the rock, all that kind of stuff. The Giants' defense has actually been pretty solid, especially against the run, especially just that front seven really has been really solid. So I don't think the Panthers are going to find a lot of success there, and that leads me to believe that this Giants team may actually get into a lead relatively early in the game. I would say by the end of the first half, I'm expecting the Giants to be up by at least a touchdown, if not more, especially because their guys are finally healthy. You have Malik Neighbors now, who he's finally healthy. He's up and running. Brian Daboll is definitely the better coach. Tyrone Tracy has been just like found money. The dude's awesome. And the Panthers are very, very, very bad at stopping the run. They have been all year long. This Giants team has actually been pretty efficient on the ground, and Tyrone Tracy makes them look even better. Basically, the script that I'm thinking of for this game is that the Giants are going to be up, and they're probably going to try to run the ball, run the clock out in that last quarter, if not maybe even just the last half altogether. Plus, this is an overseas game where we see typically the favorites win in these overseas games, and it's usually not extremely close, especially in this case where you're having a team who's already not good, already has a lot of turmoil, a coach who's first-year head coach going overseas. The Giants should smash in this spot, and if that's the case, and if they are winning by 2 scores or more in the fourth quarter, I see a lot of carries for Tyrone Tracy. If anything, just trying to milk the clock. Singletary is going to get some work too, but I could see this being like 20 carries for Tracy and like 10 for Singletary. And if that's the case, he's going over his rush props. He's going over the attempt props. Take them individually and parlay them for a smaller amount, like a quarter unit on the parlay. So that's the props. As far as the picks are concerned, guys, more picks than usual here. Because some of them, you may not be able to find the line. You may not want to pay for the line. So 49ers, Buccaneers, first of all, over 50.5 points. I have this, my algorithm or numbers here, have this really at like a 27-30 type of game, which obviously has 57 points. Realistic, and honestly, the number actually comes out 27-27. So either I see this game going 30-27 or 24-27. Either way, though, it's going over 50.5. Buccaneers defense has been just non-existent, basically. 49ers defense is somewhat better in the red zone, but not great. The Buccaneers possibly getting Mike Evans back for this game, but also, and really just more importantly, the offense has been humming just fine. Baker is apparently coming off of some sort of like banged up injury, but it looks like he's ready to roll. He's going to play. So give me the over 50.5 in that game. Titans, Chargers, under 39. Both these teams very low scoring, very defensive minded, and really some of the top defenses in the league as far as like DVOA is concerned. So I have this game capped at a 21 to really 14 score, which is 35, so we're going to be a little bit under. And really, it may be even like a 21-17 if you really think that Will Levis is able to move the ball that much better than a Mason Rudolph. But even that's going to give us 38. Again, the algorithm and the numbers that we use, it is within 1 touchdown variation. So I could see this really being more of like a 24-10 kind of game. If you want to take the Chargers and the -7.5, I don't blame you. Either way, though, I think your safer bet is going under, because the Chargers are the type of team that if they get up by 2 scores on you, they're not doing a damn thing. They're just going to run until the end of the game, and they're going to try and just keep the ball away from you. And that's pretty much it. And honestly, both these defenses are pretty good at stopping the run, and both offenses want to run the ball. So I see a lot of just like trying to move it, not really moving it, not really having a lot of success, and maybe a breakout play here or there, and that's going to end up being the scores. So give me the under 39. 49ers Bucs, 49ers -6. Like I said, the Buccaneers obviously banged up. The 6 may seem like a lot, especially because I was at 5.5 earlier in the week. But again, in this game, we're expecting a shootout, and I am expecting something like a 30-27, 30-24. And really, I would not be surprised if it is something like a 35-28 kind of game, because both these defenses are just so poor. Give me the 49ers minus the 6. And I would do that probably for a half unit unless you can get it at the 49ers minus the 5.5. Vikings minus 6.5 versus the Jags. Trevor Lawrence isn't playing. Mac Jones is still Mac Jones. I know we haven't seen him since last year, but he's not a deep threat to us or to the Vikings for that matter. Vikings defense is playing great. Jaguars secondary has been terrible. Sam Darnold, I think this is a spot for him to get back on track, look good again for the first time in I don't know how many weeks. Justin Jefferson's going to eat in this game. You finally have TJ Hawkinson healthy. Jordan Addison is coming into form. Give me the Vikings minus the 6.5. Falcons -3. Falcons defense is pretty weak as far as like secondary is concerned, and it's not the players, it's the type of defense that they play. If you go back and watch any of their games, they consistently play zone coverage, and they're constantly giving up stuff underneath, and usually what they're doing is they're just kind of letting that offense take little bites down the field, and then when they get to the red zone, they kind of stiffen up a little bit. The problem is with the Saints, yeah, that's their game, but they want to run the ball, and that's probably the one thing the Falcons do really well is shut down the run. Because they're in a zone defense, everybody's eyes are in that backfield, and as soon as you hand the ball off, they're on top of you. You don't see too many broken runs against that Falcons defense, and again, it's because of the schematics that they're using defensively. So regardless of I know it's a divisional matchup. I know Derek Carr is back there, obviously. Rashid Shaheed's still not there, and he's really the guy that I'd be more concerned with if they were playing in this game. So for those reasons, give me the Falcons -3. And then the last thing here is the Giants-Panthers -6.5. And this, again, goes with Tyrone Tracy. If you wanted to, I would parlay these. Honestly, I could parlay all three of them together. I don't know how many books are going to allow you to do that because the ones that I use typically don't. But if you can, take the Giants minus the 6.5 with the over rush attempts, with the over rushing yards by Tyrone Tracy, and just wait for the pop. If you can't do that, obviously just take the Giants by themselves. But like I was saying earlier, this looks like the smash spot for the Giants, and typically on these teams where we don't see them win a lot, we don't see a lot of these spots where they can put up big points, when they get the chance to do it, they don't call the dogs off. They understand that this is a confidence builder. Brian Daboll understands very well that this team is looking for something to get excited about, and he's going to take that opportunity to put up 35, 40 points and kind of use that as a signal to get his team going again. Again, look for the Giants to smash in this spot. This is my strongest play of the week, along with the props. I'm not touching Malik Neighbors because, again, if this game goes the way I'm thinking, there may not be a whole lot of need to pass, and he may not even be the beneficiary of the early touchdowns. It may go all to the running backs. So either way, give me the Giants -6.5. Those are the picks for the week, guys. Like I said, some of these lines have moved. I got some of these earlier in the week where they were better or more in my favor. Everything has pretty much gone in the direction that I'm thinking, other than the Titans-Chargers game. I got it earlier in the week at 38. It's now at 39. I obviously like the 39 even better. So those are the picks, guys. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Let's hope that this, and pray and cross your fingers and whatever the hell you want to do, that this streak keeps going, because it's going to pay for our Christmas. So thank you again. Y'all have a good weekend. I will see y'all soon. Later.